Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be my current drugstore favorites. I did one a few years ago that I will link below, but it pretty much now encompasses all of those things, and then of course a bunch of new stuff. This video is probably going to be on the longer end, so I would grab a snack, a drink, whatever you need to keep you cozy. And before we get into any of these products, if you will please hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every week so you won't be left in the dark. And yeah, let's get into all this stuff. So first I will start with primers. I recently did a 2017 beauty favorites. I talked about the number 7 Beautifully Matte and how I mixed it with the Absolute New York Spotlight Liquid Illuminator. Pretty much any of these like liquid illuminators. I like the NYX ones as well. I just kind of like to give that happy medium between super matte and then dewy, like a demi matte, a natural skin feel or so. And then also I love NYX's Angel Veil. It's more of a smoothing primer. People say compares to the Hourglass Veil Mineral primer. I think it's pretty similar, but definitely like a third of the price point or so, I think. Next, moving on to foundations. I first want to start off with, I think I have all my current favorite foundations from the drugstore here. I don't think I've run out of any of them yet. But the first one is going to be the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. Love this. It was a favorite of last year and the year before. I like to actually mix it a teeny bit sometimes with the Pro Glow. So if you have more dry, normal combination skin, you can probably get away with just using the Pro Glow all over. If you have more oily skin or combo oily, then you may be more interested in the Pro Matte. Next is the CoverGirl Queen Collection All Day Flawless 3-in-1 Foundation. I know people have a hard time finding this. It's just not available everywhere, and I don't understand why, because it's a great foundation. It conceals, well, it primes, conceals, and is your foundation all in one, especially if you are a woman of color and you have trouble finding deeper skinned foundations in the drugstore. Then if you can find this one, definitely check it out. Next is the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. It's definitely one of the most watery consistency foundations I've ever tried, but it's super easy to build because it's a very thin texture. Because it's such a thin texture, you can layer and layer it without it looking cakey, and it still just has a more natural look to it. NYX doesn't always carry their full line in store, whether you find it at the beauty supply store or Target or Ulta or Walgreens or so. They don't always have all these shades, but check on their website because they extended this shade range to include like 30 or 40 so foundations. And the last foundations are all from Maybelline, because it seems that Maybelline has been killing it with the foundation game. First are oldies but goodies. It's the matte, well, the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I have the shade 228 Soft Tan, and somehow I ended up with 330 Toffee Caramel. I haven't worn this foundation in a long time. I need to revisit it because I know it's a great one. It's probably the most affordable of the ones that I'll list. I think it's actually under, like well under $10, probably like 7 or 8 or so. Only problem is it doesn't come with the pump, but the shade selection on this one is amazing. Last summer I started using the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin foundation. I have it in the shades, I have this one in the shades 45 Sand Beige and then 93 Golden Honey. So I actually was using this darker shade during the summer, but I can mix the two of these at any point of the year to come up with my perfect match. Love this one. It's a very like nice everyday foundation that looks like really great on the skin. And most recently is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. I think it's a reformulation of an older version of this foundation. I did a review on it not too long ago, so I haven't been using it for very long, but I've used a lot of it. You can see that I've already used like a quarter of the bottle, and I probably had it for like 2, maybe 3 weeks or so, but I love it. It's great full coverage, great for every day. It has a pump. It's like 10 bucks. The shade selection is not the greatest of this one, and I don't know why. Maybelline needs to extend the shade range of all of their foundations to that the Fit Me comes in. Side note, L'Oreal needs to extend their foundation lines to the extent that the True Match. The True Match line has like 30 different shades. They need to extend all their other foundations to that same shade range, okay? Let's get it together. For concealers, I only have two. The first is the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. This one's pretty full coverage. It blends really well, and then it just looks really nice and smooth and natural underneath the eyes. And then I also have the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I included this one because there are some drugstores that carry this, as well as beauty supply stores. It's about $3. I think they might have bumped the price up to $4, but it has a really great shade range on it. And I bought this in like a triple pack on Amazon for like 10 bucks. So it's a great drugstore foundation also. As far as cream contouring, I don't do a lot of it, but when I do, I use either one of these. And I have the Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free and Balanced Foundation in the darkest shade that it comes in, which is 355 Coconut. I also have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Makeup Stick Contour in the shade 805 Call Me Maple. I think there's another shade that might be a little bit deeper than this one. It's just a really... Both of these are just more on the warm side, which I like to use for contouring, and they're just really creamy. It's easy to use a cream stick product to contour because you can place it exactly where you want to and it blends really easily. I just don't do it like all the time, mainly when I'm trying to be extra glam. With liquid highlighting, the NYX Liquid Illuminator is a really great option, and then also from NYX are the Away We Glow liquid highlighters that come in a stick form. So they're a really nice, thin, blendable, but layerable consistency, and you can like really shear them out or build them up. So if you want a super natural look, you can just use it by itself, or if you want a more glam look, you can use this and then top it with your favorite powder highlighter. To set under the eyes, I have two products. The first is the L'Oreal Hydra Perfect Perfecting Loose Powder in the shade Medium. I included this in my yearly favorites from 2017. It's more of a salmon pink-like tint, so it does a really good job at brightening and concealing. I don't get any flashback with it. And then also is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder in the Translucent Extra Coverage. This one I just started using. I just wanted to switch over from the L'Oreal just to use all of my products, and I've really been liking how this one sets the under eyes as well as the entire face. For bronzing, I have my all-time favorite bronzer from the drugstore is NYX's Deep Tan Matte Bronze. I recently ran out of it and I don't have it to show you guys, but it's my favorite from the drugstore ever. Probably my favorite bronzer of all time. And then next is this Milani Baked Bronzer in the color 05 Soleil. It's definitely not as deep as I would like it, but it gives me a just kind of came back from the beach glow that I can use kind of all over. With the deep tan, this would be more of kind of just like a blush topper or maybe a highlighter. And I have this Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette in the shade Caramel Toffee. Talked about this in my yearly favorites. It has this banana-like shade on this side for setting under the eyes, and then this really nice warm bronzer that I use to bronze. Very pigmented. This is huge and probably like $4, $5, $6 or so. So it lasts a really long time. I love to take this to travel with me. As far as blushes go, I actually did a video featuring my favorite blushes from the drugstore. It's like several years old, maybe 4 years old, but I will link it below because it's pretty much all of those, and I'll give you a quick rundown of them now. But the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes are very like great. They have some with shimmer, some matte ones. They have great pigmentation. They're huge sizes and very inexpensive. Next is this L'Oreal Infallible Paints Blush Palette. I kind of just swirl my brush into all of them, and it gives a very nice peachy pink look that I really like to use, and it's great for traveling. The Milani blushes are some of the best that I've ever tried. They have some matte ones as well as some illuminating ones. They have a nice pigment to them. Like you can really wear them pretty sheer, but you can build them up and like really pack a punch on your cheeks if that's what you're looking for. Also, these Milani like little flower petal imprinted blushes are great too, and they're huge. And then lastly would be blushes from NYX. So they have a bunch of different formulas. They may have discontinued some of these, so if you can't find them, then I apologize. One of my favorites is just their like original blush that I just broke right here. But it's just these. I have a bunch of these, some with shimmer, some that are just matte, but they last an incredibly long time. They have great pigmentation. They blend really pretty. And then there is their Baked Blush Illuminator and Bronzer, and this is in the shade Solstice. It broke. but it's a really nice terracotta bronze shade that I kind of just like to use when I'm in a rush. I can just sweep it all over the place and it gives bronze blush with a little bit of sheen for some highlighting effects to it too. And then lastly from NYX are the high definition blushes, and these are your like very pigmented, bam, tap your brush off 4 or 5 times after you dip into here type blushes that I love also. Okay, next up are highlighters. So first I have the NYC Color Wheel Mosaic Face Powder in the color Golden Touch. I think this may have been limited edition, but these NYC Mosaic Face Illuminating ones are really great pigmentation because you can just swirl your brush into all of them and get this really pretty sheen that has a lot of dimension to it, or you could go in individually and use each one of them. Next is the Milani Strobe Light Instant Glow Powder in the color 04 Glowing. This one's like my darker highlighter, so I definitely use this one more in the summer, but it's a beautiful straight up just like really pretty warm gold. The last ones are from Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow Illuminating Palette in the color Catwalk Pink, which I didn't think I would really like, but it has this gold color on the outsides here. It's kind of like this rose gold and this more champagne gold that really, when blended all together, just give a really beautiful effect to the face. And then the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powders are amazing. Since I think I have Crown of My Canopy and Precious Petals. They might have been limited edition, but I think they've extended this range since these have come out. These are amazing, girl. Amazing for like $4. Next up are eye primers. I don't know about you, but the concealer and setting it with translucent powder trick has never ever worked for me. I have a very hooded eyelid as well as oily eyelids. So if I don't use a primer, that concealer or foundation with translucent powder that I put on my eyelid is gonna crease in a snap, crackle, pop, real quick hurry. So having a really good eye primer is essential for me, and sometimes it's hard to find them from the drugstore. Two that I really, really like are the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer from their Photo Focus line, and then also the Hard Candy eyeshadow primer in the Eyes the Limit. I've used both of these multiple times and they work just as well as my higher end ones. As far as eyeshadows go, I know the Wet n Wild Tin Pan palettes. I have like one of them left. Those were amazing from back in the day. They've since configured the packaging, so I don't know if the consistency and the texture are different, but I would definitely try those out because they have a really good shade range and they typically tend to have a really good performance turnout. Next up are these L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. These are oldies but goodies. They're just cream shadows that if you put a base underneath them, for me, I don't ever have any creasing, and they give a really nice like kind of metallic-y foiled shimmer to the lid. They also have some matte ones, so these are just great products to have. My favorite drugstore palette currently is the L'Oreal La Palette Nude, I think is what this is called. It is just a bunch of nude shades. I did a video a while back when I tested out these shadows, but they're great. I was super shocked at how well they performed, and this palette is about 15 bucks, so not too bad to get this many shadows. As far as eyeliners go, I don't do a lot of liquid eyeliner or kohl eyeliner really ever, but I want to mention these like fun eyeliners that I really like that are from the drugstore. They are all from NYX. So the first two here are just some glitter eyeliners, and these are their Dramatic Sparkle Studio Effect eyeliners. So just a glitter eyeshadow, just a glitter eyeliner. If you don't want to shell out 20 bucks for like an Urban Decay one or so, then I really like these if you just want that really quick like pop of sparkle. And then another great line that I like is the Glam Liner Aqualux, and this is the waterproof eyeliner from NYX. This one has more of a sparkle, not just like a straight up glitter. And then lastly, the NYX Vivid Brights. These are great if you want to do a really bold pop of color. If you want to get into doing brighter looks, but you don't really want to like mess with eyeshadow, this is a really nice fun way to like amp up your makeup. As far as mascaras go, one that I really, really love and have repurchased several times but I don't have with me is the Maybelline Colossal Big Lash, like the normal one in the pink packaging, not the big shot that they released I think last year or so, but the one that comes in the pink packaging. That one I love. And then also L'Oreal's Telescopic Carbon Black is a holy grail. It gives like super insane length to your lashes. It's really great for your bottom lashes because it's a really small comb applicator. And then also the CoverGirl Total Tease. This one is great at curling your lashes. So if you have stick straight lashes, I would like curl them with an eyelash curler and then put this up there and it's gonna hold that curl. I love the waterproof version of all of these. So yeah, this one does a great job at separating, lengthening, and really curling your lashes. Speaking of lashes, hands down favorite eyelashes from the drugstore would pretty much be anything from Ardell. These are the demi wispies, so they kind of just start out smaller and then flare out towards the outer portion. I also like the wispies. Those are a little bit longer in the middle and then shorter on the inner and outer corners. And then these Andrea strip lashes are very similar. You can find styles very similar in both of these really. But these are like maximum curls, so they're really like curly. They're kind of like almost like they double layered, like the ones on the top are really curly and the ones underneath are curly too, but not as curly, if that makes sense. So it gives like a more 3D effect or so. So I really love these. Next up for eyebrows, I've pretty much been using only drugstore products for my eyebrows for like the last 6 months mainly. I love the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I love the spool. It's the perfect shape and size and texture, and the pencil is really, really small and I like that. It gives me a really natural brow. And then favorite brow pencil ever is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, and I use it in the shade Dark Brunette. It's what I used to do my eyebrows today, and it's just very simple for me to use it. Someone who doesn't like to spend a whole lot of time doing their brows, or you're just getting into brows, or you like really natural brows, then I would definitely try this because it's like $7 or $8. As far as setting my brows, I have been loving the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. I probably should throw this away, but I still love it. It has a huge like mascara like wand on the end of it, but it really just makes my brows stay in place without making them like really, really crunchy. They're a little bit, you know, more on the hard, well, stiff side or so, but they're not like super crunchy where like my face is tight or anything when I go to move it. NYX Control Freak is a clear gel, so I do love that. My favorite eyebrow gel that has color to it from the drugstore is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Mascara, and this is in the shade Nothing But Brunette. So it has a really small brush on the end of it that's really nice just to add a little bit more color as well as like setting your brows. Oh, and I really love the NYX, the little teeny tiny brow gel that NYX makes. It has like the smallest like wand on the end of it ever. I had that and I don't know what happened to it, but I love that one too. And lastly, lip products. Favorite lip balm ever of all time is Carmex, and it is typically the one that comes in the stick form. I just had to pick this one up at work the other day because I got to work and didn't have any chapstick whatsoever, and I knew I couldn't go 12 hours with nothing on my lips, so I ran to the gift shop and bought this. But I love the stick form of this. I think it just stays on my lips. As far as lip liners go, I love the Milani Color Statement lip liners. I have a couple of these. They're just a pencil you sharpen, but they have a really nice soft creamy texture to them with a lot of pigment. I also really love the NYX lip liners. I have a bunch of them, but I'm too lazy to go get them right now. I love the suede ones as well as their regular line, and then the automatic ones that you just twist up also. So they have a really great range with a lot of textures, a lot of colors that are just really inexpensive. As far as lipsticks go, some of my favorites from the drugstore are the Wet n Wild, just these little cheapy lipsticks. I did a full swatching video of them a really long time ago that I'll link down below in case you're wanting to check out some shades. But if you're just getting into lipsticks or don't want to spend a lot of money on them, these are amazing because they're under $5. Like they used to be $2, $3 back in the day, and they have great pigmentation, a bunch of colors. They're matte, but they are creamy also. So yeah, and I think Maybelline probably makes the best lipstick in the drugstore. Pretty much any of their whatever line this is, there's like 50,000 different colors and textures and finishes, and so everyone can find a shade that is like suitable for them that they love. This one just happens to be Stormy Sahara. I think this was from their nude line, the Color Sensational line. Yeah, This is from like the color Sensational Nudes or something like that. But I love these lipsticks. The NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick formula is really nice. I'm actually wearing one of them layered today in the shade Soft Spoken. So I have this underneath another drugstore lipstick. And that lipstick is actually the Milani Amore Matte Metallic Lip Cream in the shade Chromatic Addict. So I have the two of these layered together on top just for this like nude, but with a teeny bit of metallic in the middle look that I really like. And then I have a couple from the matte line, from the Milani Matte Amore line. These are great liquid lipsticks. I have one of the Maybelline Superstay Matte Inks in the shade Heroin. This is a bright orange coral red color. If you don't know, tomato reds or oranges are my favorite color ever of life to wear. So I had to pick this up when I saw it, and then I now want to go back and get more colors. Also from NYX, their soft matte lip creams are really great. They have like 40 or 50 different shades of these things. They're a very nice moussey texture. So if you're afraid of getting into like liquid lipsticks, you don't like that super matte kind of unable to move your lips feel, this is a more cream texture, so it's more it bends more with your lips and it doesn't feel as uncomfortable. I also love the NYX butter glosses. I have a bunch of these in different colors. They're just a really nice creamy gloss that has a little bit of tack to it, so it lasts. They have a great smell to them. They taste really nice, and they have a decent amount of pigment. And then lastly, I'll just mention the NYX Mega Shine lip glosses. These were like ones that I first started using from NYX. They have a really huge range of these as well. They're a little bit more tacky, a teeny bit more shiny, I would say, than the butter glosses. I like them just as much as the butter glosses. They have a really strong like cherry scent to them that I don't really like, but it's bearable. As far as setting sprays, I don't have any currently with me, but I love the NYX matte setting spray, and I also really enjoy the Essence like Lock-It facial setting, makeup setting spray that they have too. Both of those are really good options in the drugstore. That's everything for this really long video. I hope you were able to find a couple new drugstore favorites. Let me know some of your drugstore favorites that I didn't mention that you think I need to try out, because I'm always looking for more great products. But thank you guys as always for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.